Hey y'all, this is Kim with Creative Escapades, and today I am working on a freeform resin sculpture that is a commission piece, and I have my Pro enamel mixed up here. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. I have about 6 ounces in this cup, and I'm going to be using the Resin Art Pigment Lusters and using it in Tiger's Eye, Salted Caramel, and Golden Autumn. These colors are beautiful together. And then I have these chunky acrylic clear gemstones that I'm going to be adding to the edges. So we're going to start mixing our pigments with our resin. And it doesn't take a whole lot of this, just using the end of my popsicle stick to put some in the cup, and it melts right in. There's no little particles in your resin once you mix it, like sometimes there is with some mica powders, but this stuff just melts like butter. It's perfect, and they're shimmery and shiny and just glorious. So I'm going to finish getting them all dissolved and make sure that I've got enough of it in the cup to color it. And then I'm just going to start pouring. And I'm going for a tree ring type look. The person that this is meant for, it's going to be a wedding gift. And the person that it's intended for really likes the hand design clay pottery type things. So I want to give this an earthy tone and design. So I'm thinking that tree ring kind of pour with these colors will give it more that clay type appearance, only with a resin shine and the glint of the acrylic gems around the edge. I think it will really be cool. So this is the first time I've tried to do a tree ring pour with resin, but we'll see what happens. So my design is about to run off the edge of my mat here, and this mat is really cool. It's a very thin mat that I got from Amazon, and it doesn't have a lip around it. So I'm just going to put a stir stick under each side where it's starting to run over or getting close to the edge. And I'm adding all my little acrylic pieces in here, and I'm kind of staggering these, putting one close to the edge and then pushing one back a little bit to give it a little bit more of a ruffled type effect once I put it into the molding process. So we're almost done adding the gemstones here. And then I want to go back in to center and work around the edges with my popsicle stick and bring back a little bit more of the rings. When I heated up, they kind of disappeared just along the edges. So, and I know that I'm probably going to lose some of this design when I put it into the mold, which is right here. And I used some glass gems, and they're the real glass, to hold the resin down into the bowl that I used. And all these little things that I'm pulling out from the edges was what I used to prop up the edge of the resin that was over the edges of my bowl that's underneath here. And I'll show you that in just a second. Because it was still at a runny stage, and that was just one of my little baking dishes, and I covered it with plastic before I put the mat with the holding the resin down in it. I want to make sure I didn't get any resin on my bowl. And this mat just peels off so easy. Boom, done. So this is the underside, and we will get the plastic pulled off the inside of this. And this plastic that I'm using, all this is shrink wrap that comes off of my canvases. And canvas is always wrapped in shrink wrap. And this makes perfect little things to pour your resin on, or to protect the resin while you're molding it. And it comes off really easy from your resin. Pulls right off. And it's reusable. And I didn't have to buy it. It's already here. So it would normally go in the trash, but it's usable. So my resin piece is still not 100% set. In the center of it, you can see the outline of the glass gems from the weight of it that I put in there. So I'm going to mix up some more resin and same colors, and then I'm going to pour what I call the strengthening coat. And I'm just doing it in the same kind of tree ring pattern. I still want that look, that earthy look. And just think tree rings, when you have a piece of wood cut and you see all those rings that are in there, I'm fascinated by it. It's so cool. So I kind of want that to look here in the center of the bowl, just like that, as much as I can make it look like that with resin. And I'm just alternating my colors. And keep pouring. And then once I get it all level in here, I had one little piece right here on the edge that had a piece of the plastic had actually went through the edge of the resin, so had to repair that real quick. Now I'm just kind of spreading the resin around by tilting it a little bit, and then I'm going to heat it up and go right back to getting that tree ring design in the center. Alternating colors. And once this is cured on the inside, then I'm going to do the very same thing to the underside, because it needs to have a coat on there as well. So I had to take off my goggles. I have my respirator and my goggles on at this point. So I'm using my stir stick, and I'm just going around the edges with it, pulling those circles back in to make it look like a ring. And I want to make sure that all of my edges of the bowl itself is where I need them to be, because once this sets, that's the shape it's going to be. So the rings are really starting to look nice. Going to do a little bit more repair work right here. And then we'll let it sit there and cure. Okay, there's going to be a little bit of shaking here, but I want to take you in a little bit closer so you can see all the details down in the center with those rings and how they're looking. So I think it's going to be pretty. Let's get you back up on the tripod. And we'll let it set for a little bit and come right back. Alright, so the underside is cured, or the inside I guess I should say, and it really kept its shape for the tree ring, so I'm really pleased with that. And now I want to do the same identical thing as much as I can on this underside. And I know that I'm going to probably have a little bit of trouble with the edges running off, but I want to get a shine on them as well. And so I'm okay with that. I'm prepared for what's going to be. So I've mixed up the same colors again with my resin. And I'm just going to start with another tree ring pour right on the center back of this piece. So here we go. Starting in the center, and I'm trying not to pour too much because I'm really not wanting this to run off the edges and drip down off the very end of where I have those acrylic clear stones at, because then I'll have drip marks that I have to trim off of the front. So I'm trying to do this more in a controlled type pour. I'm just going slow and putting just a little bit. This coat does not have to be real thick. The bowl is already steady. The sides are not moving anymore. So it is set where I need it to be. And this is just for getting a shine and getting a pattern design on the outside of the bowl as well. Okay, so I'm just keeping with the tree ring theme, and I've got the center kind of where I want it. So now I'm ready to start going over the sides, and I know that this is pulling over the edge there, but I think it's okay. I'm just using my hand, and as it rolls over the edges, I'm smoothing it down over every side, every little crack and crevice. I want to make sure that everything is coated and gets that resin shine. And then this is going to continue to move just a little bit, but because I kept the resin to a minimum and not just poured a bunch on there, I'm able to control the dripping off the edges around what will be the top of the bowl. I'm still using my stir stick to bring out those rings. Just keep adding them, and it's going to cure this. And here is my finished piece. I think it really held the design that I put in there well, and I am very happy. The back of it, or underneath, the inside, the sides, everything just turned out great. So I hope the lady that is going to be the recipient of this likes it as much as I do. And I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. If you have, please click like and share. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so and ring that bell so you get notified of future videos. And I want to thank you for joining me for this one. And I hope to see you in my next creative escapade. Bye-bye.